Well,
Huh, I
probably
forgot.
construction.
Oh, it's construction. Let's say extreme.
Okay.
Hey, Gary, can you put us, Gary?
Yeah.
Can you put a flag up?
Flag?
Let's watch this. That's putting you on the spot, Mr. Myers.
Pretty awesome. Yeah, that's something we can do.
If it's too much, then we'll
Nope.
know that the memorial park is very
No, but I didn't realize.
All right, I'll take flag right there.
great.
That'll work.
It's a small one, it's good enough. There it is.
Just pick one.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That's impromptu, Gary. We are testing the new board chair. You did great.
All right, so let's go ahead and review the agenda. Do we have any questions about our agenda for today? Awesome. Okay, so now we're going to move on to general public comment. This is the time for comment on public matters that are not on the agenda. Public matters do not include any pending legal matters, private personnel issues, or private student issues. Please do not attempt to address such issues at this time, or you will be ruled out of order. The board cannot enter into a discussion during general public comment. Do we have anybody in person for general public comment? Okay, do we have anybody online?
We don't have any public at the moment online.
Okay, great. And we'll go ahead and move into our presentation. I'd like to call up Ms. Principal Simpson to go ahead and talk to us a little bit about Smith Elementary.
Good morning. I'll just talk through kind of our brochure that all of you guys should have in your hands. So this is kind of encompasses what Smith School is all about. Our vision is to promote academic excellence in a respectful, caring community. Artwork on this is from the kids, something that they did last year that we had displayed on a bulletin board. One of the sections that we wanted to feature are the connections that we make. It was a theme that we had a couple of years ago school-wide. We make a lot of connections within the school and also within our community. So different things that we offer our school community. We have a lot of community partnerships, which we put down as well. We do a lot with Carroll College. We have the Read Dog program starting, something that wasn't, that I hadn't met with the person yet before I did the brochure, but since we're going to have a grandparent, a foster grandparent in the school one day a week as well. So lots of community partnerships. A lot of people like to come and support Smith, which we're always open to, and it's really nice. The We Love About Smith are just comments from the kiddos. I do morning announcements every morning, and I either give like a math problem or a little prompt, or we talk about regulating our bodies or different things like that. So one day I asked, what do they love about Smith? So this is all from the kids and what they had to say, why they love coming here. We focus on PACs, which we're all PACs leaders here. We talk about being respectful and safe and responsible. And it's something that's a common language throughout our school, which really helps with just regulating ourselves. It helps with working with parents when we talk about classroom management or different zones of regulation and what we want to present with our families as well. And it's a common language that we use with the kiddos. On the back is just a little bit about our school leadership team. We do have a school leadership team. We have goals yearly. We call them around our ABCs. So we focus on academics, attendance, our connections, is the C, and behavior, to make sure that kids want to be here and want to learn. So we've grown this year at Smith, which is really exciting. I just walked around with Rex, and he understands we don't have any empty spaces anymore, which is a really good thing. So we filled our last 2 classrooms. We have a Sprouts classroom. We have a Kinder Montessori classroom.
We have 2 closets.
Yeah, we have 2 closets. Yeah, and that's a good thing. So we feel full, and staff is really excited about that too, especially with bringing in the young learners because there's just a real excitement and energy to the building. So we're enjoying it. We're almost at 300. And we have, I mean, we're a title building, but along with that, some of our demographics, we have our free and reduced lunch. We have a nice population of ESL learners here. We are providing kids packs with the Helena Food Share. So we like to partner with them. And then the IEPs and the 504s that we have. So we're a busy place, we're a happy place, and it's fun to come to work. Questions? Things I didn't cover?
Trustees have any questions, comments?
More of a comment,
Yeah.
academic data.
Yes.
And I'm sure that you have amazing staff, but I've also been watching these scores improve since
Yeah.
you got here. So I think that you guys seem to like be in really good shape. I just wanted to compliment you and your whole staff. We don't hear a lot about Smith. I think you're always kind of just rolling,
Yeah.
in a good way and, just maybe come to you and what you're doing more specifically and potentially share that out with some of our areas across the district that are struggling, but, great job to everyone.
Thanks. We have a really good staff and it's fun to just talk with them and share ideas. And they're a good group to want to pilot math programs right here in the building, but also just learn from one another. So that's something that we really try to promote here as well. And they do a really good job with that. And I do think part of that growth, and our theme actually this year is growth. And we're going to have, and we kind of talked about how when you grow, you have growing pains, right? Because sometimes there's things that are a little uncomfortable or whatever, but then you also have to have that growth mindset. So we do want to still, you're fine, continue to grow. Not only like meeting the needs for the kids academically, but also their needs to get them to school, attendance wise, those connections that they feel connected with other kids or with family members, with the teachers. So that's a big part of it too. So thank you for that. Yeah.
Can I speak to something just real quick?
Yeah.
Okay, if I'm speaking from behind, the testament to Mrs. Simpson's leadership. It's just the fact that she also models what learning looks like in her building. So seeing her newsletters come through each week, just the conversations we have had, and the expectation, she holds high expectations, but helps her people get there. So I wanted to throw that out there because you're not going to see that on the brochure either.
Thanks.
So I know that Smith historically has had many different languages spoken
Yeah.
here. For your
Mhm.
English language learners, how many languages do you have to see?
Oh, right now are we at 7 at least?
I was gonna say 6.
Okay, so
Maybe 7.
So these are our field day shirts that you'll see staff wearing around the building. Our PTO, our PSS also does a really great job supporting the whole school community. One of those things that they do every year is provide our field day shirts for all kids, because that's part of that connection, really making sure that all kids are provided that sense of, I don't know, pride in their school, right? So one of our students, we had a week where there was a contest. So this is the t-shirt contest. And I bring this up because on the back, we had a saying, but it was in all the languages that our kids speak. So we have those on all the backs. And so all the kids got that. And that was really nice. And it's kind of the feel in our school community. And to have PSS sponsor that and provide that for all of our kids. And then they also go above and beyond. And for our incoming kinders, they provide enough shirts. So on their home visits, our incoming kinders get that t-shirt as well. So they have something to wear and wear it with pride. Yeah.
What supports do you have for those students?
Sure, yeah. So the district obviously is aware of our ESL learners that we have. So we have Therese Tucker, and I don't know her official position.
She's EL coordinator and teacher for the district.
So she's here a good half day, all of the days of the week. Kelly Conley, who's our instructional coach, she's great. She works closely with Therese, also identifying the students that need more supports. And then within our para support or our teachers, we'll do you know, we want the kids in there absorbing the curriculum, learning the language, all of that, but there's also times within the schedule that I were still working on this morning at 10 a.m. Where we pull out different kids and their needs, and we're able to have more language development or the social development that we have. So there's that's been a really nice support that the district has also really been trying to focus on and provide us with. I'll also give a shout out to Heart. They're a community partnership that we do a lot of work with. And so we're able to have translation apps if we need to speak with parents, get kids things that they need, get parents what they need, to be able to have the kids here learning. So
You had the Jambo group last year
we
too.
did, yep, after school, they had an after-school music and arts program that they had in one of our open classrooms. We have that open classroom anymore. And that was awesome. And then they actually performed. We have monthly whole school assemblies where we have students perform and we recognize students for being PAX leaders or different things. And the Jambo group performed at that, and that was really cool to see for all of the other students to appreciate. So definitely like some growing pains as we kind of started, but we're figuring it out. Yeah. Yep.
Just a follow-up
Yeah.
question. So how do your numbers compare this year to last year? I mean, what's?
Yeah, last year I think we were around 275, 276. And so now this year we're at that 299. So we've increased with our numbers with students. We also added those 2 classrooms, the Kinderstraat classroom and the Kinder Montessori, which is fun.
I was actually wondering
Oh.
about the ESL. numbers.
Oh, I think we've only increased maybe 5 or 6.
Yeah, so what we did, so there are a couple of things. So the White Apartments here is an enclave of the refugee students. And so it just seems natural to put more, to centralize more resources here at Smith for those students. And that, you know, they have a community there. They walk over here in the mornings. It's easy for you to communicate with families and parents too, right? So the proximity of their housing helps. And then we also centralized students to 3 elementary schools this year that required services because we had such an increase district-wide in the last 2 years.
That's what
And we didn't have enough resources to go around, and with how much distance there are between our elementary schools. So Smith Central and Bryant serve almost all of our English language learners, especially our level 1 and level 2 newcomers and those that are still just acquiring the language. So not a huge increase this year, but there were a few last year that you didn't have space for in grade levels and they were at Central, and because they lived just next door, they wanted to transfer here for this coming school year. So we made sure that we had a spot for them. And I will say, Ms. Simpson is so welcoming. Every time I call her and say, I have a new student, they're coming here from what, you know, name the country. And she said, we'll take them. We'll take them. We want them here. And sometimes she'll fight if she doesn't have room because she really wants them here.
Saying we can go over.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is nice, but also their location and proximity, because we're able to support parents, even if they have students not at our school, maybe they're at the middle school or high school. But with Therese being here in the afternoons, she can meet with parents, or we can provide, if it's something that they're signing up through the internet with, or with the phone call that we need to make with the interpretive services, we can provide that too, which is really nice. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We want to acknowledge, I believe, do we still have trustee Armstrong online?
do.
Don't know if she'd like to talk to me or not, but.
Thank you. I'm just listening. Obviously, seems to me that our principal here is actually quite effective, and I enjoy hearing kind of like from Justine the stuff about the newsletter and the expectations and that tying into the increased score. So thank you.
One of your parent council groups, and they were really concerned about the apartments right over here. Did that kind of
Yeah, that's,
settle out?
yeah, so we had last year, it was in November, December, a lot of the parents were getting notifications that they were going to be evicted and the apartments were gonna go down, so we talked with the district about that, and they're not. So, they're here, and I think there's been some renovations done, but as of right now,
Schedule.
they're here.
Yep.
And, but that was something very big for a couple months and also hard, right? In this time in Helena trying to get housing, where parents were gonna be displaced and all of that. So just kind of navigating through all that, but they're here.
And just having that big complex so
Oh, yeah.
close to the school is
Mhm.
probably really a good thing for them. for
It is,
people
and we
that
wouldn't
live
want it to be empty, right? That wouldn't be good. So, yeah.
Oh, good.
Until we hear other.
there. Any other comments?
A couple. You guys good? I think, what trustee Armstrong just mentioned, and Dr. Alberts, has talked about, Sarah, the modeling, the leadership here, is very well done, and we're proud of what Sarah brings to the table. But and you looked at the scores, I think, Siobhan, you talked about scores increasing. I think your goal right now for attendance is 95,
Mhm.
maybe, what was it? What drives it?
So last year, yeah, we were able actually to look because now we have that power school that we can look into all the analytics, which is kind of fun. Last year, we were right about the 93, 94.
Okay.
It's a little tricky figuring out all of our analytics at Smith because we do have that Montessori and that Smith, and it doesn't merge together. Okay, so
It does today.
It does as of today.
Okay.
well, it hasn't in the past, and so that was kind of a, how do we balance the two and numbers, it's not just 50-50. So yes, that's why we have our attendance goal for 95%. We do a lot of things to promote attendance with the kids and with the families to get them here because we know if they're here, they can learn, but when they're not here, that's harder to learn, yeah.
I think 95% is the lofty goal.
Uh-huh.
It's a super great goal.
It's only a couple more.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's great. I mean,
Yeah.
I think after we saw coming out of COVID, we're 89 to 91% would be healthy. So I'm happy to see that 95% there.
Mhm.
I would say that as Sarah and I walked around the building, she's not content with 95% or her academic goals. There's an open area downstairs that could be a vision of some sort of a community center that supports the families in this area. And right now it's a big storage unit of, we'll just call it stuff. But that could be reimagined, and I really appreciate her not willing just to be satisfied with where they're at. So that's important. The other one is the other part of this is that twofold. She just went through a very large remodel construction phase. Todd's sitting over here in the back because he doesn't want me to ask about it. But there has been a lot of work, and I think Todd, his team, and Sarah and her staff for anytime you remodel and add into your building during the summer, it's never done on time. And we found that to be the case this year. A day before school, maybe 2 days before school, did not look like this library. And so the amount of work and effort and flexibility to run a school, get ready for a school year and not be done construction wise was really, really flexible and important. So thanks for leading us through that. Mr. Farrell, do you want to talk a little bit about what was done in this building over the summer?
Sure,
Thanks.
I suppose. So we replaced nearly the entire HVAC, heating and ventilation system. And we added air conditioning. Well,
It's
we're going to add it whenever the equipment gets here. But this room in particular had a tall vaulted ceiling. There was a unit on the wall over there that was intermittent. It was very loud. It was a piece of junk. So now all the equipment's hidden up above the drop ceiling. We have new LED lighting. We have new digital controls throughout the building. So now, in the past, it was pneumatic controls, which was run by an air compressor and air through these little tiny lines, very archaic. Now everything's digital. So every classroom has digital controls. My HVAC tech can get on his computer and see if there's an issue. If the classroom is hot or cold, he can look and see what the issue is and adjust it on the fly. We replaced this. There was a bunch of units out on top of the roof on the gym, those have all been removed. New system in the gym. We consolidated, I think there was 12 or 13 boilers, now we're down to 4. So the system's more efficient. It is modern, it's easier to maintain, and it's simpler. So when it's done, you know, it'll be a lot better than it was before, but obviously we're waiting on equipment. Apparently AI data centers are sucking up all the air conditioning units, so
That makes a lot.
that's why we are still waiting on equipment to show up here. And I think what we're gonna do is wait till spring break to install it, the air conditioners. We have heating and ventilation in this building with the old units. Air conditioning won't come along until the spring, but aside from this week, that should probably be fine.
Yeah.
So if anybody wants to look, I'll be glad to take it out of the boiler room and we can look at it after this meeting. I'll be happy to show you around it.
The
It's
tour
pretty
is
neat
scheduled for.
how everything kind of just went and shrunk down, and modernized it. So
A good testament to the conversations that Todd and I had over the summer around how you taking care of your buildings and are you taking care of your buildings? I think this is an example of that we are. I agree with you, Todd, that air conditioning is probably not needed now between here and spring break. We hope it's gonna be a really rough winter, but we do need it.
And it's been a really pretty fall and we haven't, you know, knock on wood, I know our prescribed burnings are gonna start, but like with the wildfire season, it's every.
We heard, again, through our community engagements, through the bond exercise, that a lot of people had asked or questioned why air conditioners are important. Certainly, as you mentioned, fall fire season, I've always said throughout my career that our HVAC system becomes our safety security problems. And so we heard, you know, if it gets on the room, just open a door or a class or a window, and that's no longer appropriate. Is that we need to be able to cool our rooms without exposing our children to outside influences. And so HVAC or heating or the air conditioning is really important for us to have. And so we're doing one by one every summer, every other summer. Remember, we just did this 2 years ago at Jefferson. And of course, Kessler as a new build will also receive that. So we're picking them off because it's not just convenient, but it's also safety and security. We don't want to expose our kids to outside nature or bad influences. Lastly, you want to tell us a little bit about the growth that you're seeing with our youngest of young that entered your building?
Oh, I mean, well.
Kids Sprouts and Montessori.
Yeah, academically, I mean, they're just getting through their Pele and their first assessments, but our Kindersprout classroom is running beautifully. I mean, the teacher in there is great. We have 17 little learners, and I was actually just talking to a parent today, and she had said, you know, her son with daycare would always cry or not want to be separated from brother. And she goes, I can just tell from drop off because it's hand to hand with parents at our playground. He's just loving school. So it's really, it's fun to see their progress. I mean, our fire drills, they nailed it. Like they were quiet and hand in hand. We had like a little picture of them and they were just going out and taking it so seriously. So it's going to be really exciting to see them enter kindergarten then, with just this whole year ahead of time. And they're so used to just the school and interacting and the curriculum that we have for them. And I don't know, they may still be in their quiet nap time, but when we do our tour, they sang to me this morning their little family song because our school is our family. And so it's one of the units that they're singing, and they all had the little hand motions and everything. And so just the joy that they're having and experiencing in school is really fun. And I get to teach them gym every Wednesday. So that's like a highlight of my week that I get to take them down and teach them that. So that's fun. Our Kinder Montessori classroom, it's a big lift financially to get a classroom like that with the materials and the things that they need. But once again, just to see those kiddos embrace that and have that kind of learning. And our teacher, Amy Allen, who stepped in and she's being Montessori trained right now, it's just really exciting and fun. So that's been great to see in our school. So it's a fun place. I mean, I like it.
Thinking of our Kinder Sprouts, 17, I believe.
Yeah,
17 Kinder Sprouts.
Mhm.
One day, you know, it's great right now, but think what that looks like for the transition into
Yeah.
next year. It's really going to be helpful for
Yeah.
them to be ready to be learners in their next school year. So we're thankful for that.
Question about the
Yep.
Montessori.
Mhm.
So when you have the Montessori kindergarten
Mhm.
and then they go to first, how does that transition go since it's been a lottery system?
Right.
Yeah.
So this year, so last year it was just Central with the kinder, right? But now that we've added Smith, so there's 18 in our kinder Montessori lottery. And that's kind of where the lottery is going to be now when we have wait lists, right? So, but from our kinder Montessori, with our 18, 12 are gonna remain at Smith, if that makes sense, because they're gonna be 6 and 6 with our lower Montessori. And then 6 of them will go to Broadwater's lower Montessori. The same's gonna happen at Central. Now, we'll have our wait list. It's just not until we have another pod or another lower Montessori open, we won't really probably have needs for a lottery again going into that first grade, right? It's gonna be kindergarten. But this year I had 2 families move out of state. So I had open positions in first grade and second grade, which we went on the wait list then and filled from that. So that happens with transitions. So, yeah, a conversation that we've all had. And it's hard because then if a parent doesn't get in at that kindergarten level, which is sometimes you're not thinking that yet,
yeah.
March before they're gonna be
Especially
in
now.
kindergarten, right?
New.
But just getting the word out and then, maybe someday another lower pod will open or, that's a discussion that we can have and try to tweak it, but yeah. So that's how we're gonna.
And there are just the 2 at this time, Central
Yeah.
and here.
Yep. And then, so then Central's lower Montessori will be filled and then 6 from their kinder, 6 from ours is what will feed into Broadwater's. And they know that when we called them and we said, okay, this is your placement in kinder. And then, and it was families that had either put that down, like, oh yeah, we'll be fine to go to Broadwater. So we thought about traveling, cross-town traveling and logistics like that. So they know where they're going for first grade or where they're staying for first grade.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Can I ask another facilities question? So I know that you have some challenges in terms of your like win groups and having space for pull out for small groups. With your increase in students, have you been able to find spaces?
Well, I think the fire marshal would say no. Because some of our tables in the hallway. But yes, right, we had a smaller kindergarten class coming in. So we were able to say, you know, we can run a small group in the kindergarten room. We don't necessarily have to pull out for those win times. We make really good use with our upper grades in the super centers, what we call it up in the upper pod. We have the meeting room back there that is a lot of times where we meet with parents, but during the day it's used for small groups. My office is sometimes used, so we just kind of fill those nooks and crannies. It's definitely not like the newer builds where there's this, you know, beautiful outside space, but we make it work. And we just are like hall floor ready. That if we have to sit on the ground, we can. And, you know, the kids are flexible with it and the staff is great with it. So yeah, it's tight, but it's fun. It's fun.
Yeah.
This is the most students that Sarah's had since she's been
Yeah.
300.
But we're not quite at capacity, right? Like our classrooms themselves could have more students in them, which is great. So there's room for growth there. Yeah.
Typically, we're 260, 265 here. We're sitting right at 300, 270.
And that's accounting for like that increases with the kinder sprouts and, I'm sorry. Okay.
First grade's a big class right now. We're at 2021s. We're the one overage. But like I said, kinder was small district wide this year. Yeah.
And 5th grade, there's just one 5th.
So, yep.
I'm just
So
noticing that in the numbers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
looking at, dynamics with personalities, we decided to not do the split class. And so we have the larger 5th grade at 28 and then our 4ths are at 20 and 20. Yep. And it's working really well this year. Last year we had a combo class, but that's what we're doing this year. Okay. Yeah.
Any other questions or comments?
This is just a little bit, not so much about Smith,
Yeah.
but more of a funding question. So for the ESL, which is something that we absolutely want to do, 100% in favor of it, as well as in teaching and learning last week when we, there's a new law that we can, if students elect to, we can keep them in school up to age 22, I believe, which is unfunded. Is the ESL, do we get money for that, the ESL?
Very little.
Little.
Very little.
It's enough to keep you. Or enough to say that there's some support, but it's certainly never enough. But much like our early preschool, special ed classes, that was a $500,000 bill and you're getting far less than that.
You have to hire Therese, and that's maybe it.
Well, no,
No,
the Title III from the federal government for us is about $4,000, $5,000, elementary, K through 12. This year we did qualify for emergency immigrant funds from the state, $6,000. So that's the only dedicated money we get towards that population. And then I do a set aside in Title I. And so that's what helps to supplement one full-time EL person. If we want to meet the minutes, so, with special education, there's required minutes. With English language learners, there's suggested minutes that they're supposed to get each week. And Teresa and I really tried to aim towards that between win groups, small group pullouts with paras. I just contacted Sarah yesterday and said, like, give me a rundown of your kids and who's working with them. And then we try to get as close to those minutes as possible. But right now we started the school year probably a little bit short for most of our students. And then it's just hard to predict who you're going to get throughout the year. But we've definitely seen an increase in the last couple of years, which we've talked about. So we just have to get creative with how we support those students, how best to support those students.
And I will say the community partnerships that we have has really come into play as well. So Linda Sorensen comes in 1 hour a week. She used to teach here and then is no longer teaching. She works with some of our ELs. And then Shannon Callahan, who just retired, some of her friends just contacted me by phone. Hey, heard you need some extra tutoring with and either former teachers or somebody in the community wanting to help. So I think we're at the point right now we're with Book Pals with Lewis and Clark Library, right? And they come in, that's going to start in October. So we have a lot of now people supports that are interested and they're like, hey, we hear Smith needs this help. So word of mouth has been great and our community is really great. And I think now, and this is a conversation Kelly and I just had, it's kind of shifting over to that. Okay, where are easy resources now? And what can we grab from our curriculum and from the different interventions to be able to supplement and give all these helpers that want to help and the actual people so we can make sure that these kids are learning the language and growing like they should and then ready for the next school year. Yeah.
Gonna tack onto that just a little bit too. I think Caitlin worked really nicely last year to put in place supports the human resources side of it. And what we were intentional about thinking through is what instructional strategies are good for kids learning to read, no matter the background. So we worked really hard to elevate those practices too. If a kid's learning to read, the kid's learning to read. So there's some strategies that can overlap with our learners that are second language learners.
And we only have so much time, but like even the professional development that we're offering teachers so they can learn everything that's out there, right? We've been really intentional with that too, and that's going to continue. There's just so much time we have.
Where we struggle is when we have to test these students. So we have about 85, 90 students district-wide that have to take the WIDA test from January to March. It's about 3 to 5 hours per student, and you have to be WIDA certified to do it, right? So then we still want to keep all of these services in place for the students that we've had, but then we also need to double up and be able to test them as well. So we need some manpower there. So I would say that is really where we start to get kind of a log jam, if you will, of needing more resources. Again, unfunded mandates.
Yeah, thank you for, cleaning that. And I just shout out to your staff and all your teachers who did such an amazing job. And we don't have any people in public now, but I think one thing that we have to we have few anyway, let people know is that we as educational people do amazing things that we are the right thing to do or required to do, many times underfunded. And, as we work with the legislature, I know there was an EL bill that went down this year, and this sort of knowledge is just really helpful. Get on the bandwagon, help that cause.
Well done.
Okay.
Thank you, Steve.
Yeah.
All right, well, then I think we can go ahead and move into board and superintendent comments. Superintendent Brooks, do you have anything?
Not necessarily today. I mean, we have work, our special session tomorrow night. Canvass elections, we'll talk about the letter of recommendation to moving to an alternative delivery method. And then Bridget, that will be with our owner rep. We'll present that, and then Bridget with Dean Davidson will be there to talk about bonds and the selling bonds and the cycles of which we're selling. So there'll be a lot of work tomorrow night.
A lot of great information. I'm looking forward to it. Board comments?
I'm just still so happy. You know, we started with the new facilities master plan, which some people didn't think was necessary, but it really was to bring that together. And, you know, all the staff worked hard. We have Lisa and her group that worked really hard, and administration. And I can't believe that, and so thankful for the voters of Helena that passed. It was a lot. It was a big lift, and we really, really needed it. And I just want a shout out to everyone voting yes on that. It was incredible.
Okay, well, with that,
Yeah, I just said agree.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I
So
think
those that have time, Sarah would entertain a tour. So some of the things I actually like this system better. Maybe we talk first and then go on a tour. It puts everything in context. So let's do that.
All right, well, thank you.
Thank
Our work
you.
session is adjourned.